let's talk about one of the most confusing things that we do as human beings. You know that feeling, right? It makes absolutely zero logical sense, but you find yourself drawn back to them anyway. Now, most of us think we know why we do this, but the real reason is hiding somewhere we almost never think to look. We tell ourselves it's about hope or that we see their potential, but the real answer is, well, it's a lot more primal. This isn't really a decision coming from your heart. It's more like a program running in your brain's most ancient operating system. And that system, it is absolutely obsessed with one thing above everything else: predictability. And this is where it gets really interesting. The choice you think you're making isn't the one your brain is actually making. See, your brain isn't choosing between a good person and a bad one. It's choosing between the known and the unknown. A new person, no matter how great they might be, is a question mark. And to your brain, that uncertainty feels like a risk. But the familiar person, flaws and all, is a known quantity. And that predictability, that feels safe. Now, what's so crucial to understand here is that predictable does not mean good. Not at all. You can predict that someone will let you down. You can predict an interaction is going to leave you feeling drained. The outcome is never a surprise, and that's the key. There are no new variables for your brain to waste energy on. So when it's faced with a choice between a comfortable known negative and an uncertain unknown positive, your brain will almost always default to what it already knows. And this isn't just about romantic relationships. This pattern shows up absolutely everywhere. Just think about it. The friend whose compliments always have a little bit of a sting to them, or the boss whose feedback is just consistently harsh. You know the interaction probably isn't going to feel very pleasant. But you go into that conversation knowing exactly how it's going to play out. You can anticipate the passive-aggressive comment or the unfair criticism. There are no surprises. Because you already know the script, your brain doesn't have to work as hard. It's cognitively easy. A new relationship, on the other hand, takes a ton of mental energy to read cues and predict behavior, and our brains are wired to conserve energy. So here's the crucial point. Every single time you go back to that familiar person, you're not reinforcing the quality of the connection, you're just reinforcing your brain's feeling of comfort with what's predictable. So what's the deeper reason for all this? Well, it connects back to your brain's most fundamental mission. If you strip away all the complex emotions and the stories we tell ourselves, what is the one job your brain is actually trying to do? Here's the core truth. Your brain's number one priority is not your happiness, it's your safety. Your brain evolved over millions of years with one primary directive: keep you safe. Your happiness is a wonderful bonus, but it is not the main goal. Survival is. So to your survival-oriented brain, anything familiar, no matter what form it takes, registers as emotionally safe, and anything unknown registers as a potential threat. And that's the paradox, isn't it? Your brain will choose a predictably uncomfortable situation over a potentially wonderful but uncertain one simply because it equates predictable with survivable. So the next time you find yourself in this situation, it can help to just remember the real battle that's taking place in your mind. This isn't a failure of your heart or a lack of willpower. It's simply your internal safety system doing its job, pulling you away from the unknown and back toward that familiar shore, no matter how rocky that shore might be.